I'm backwards, but and upside down maybe too. Backwards and upside down. Can't change the backwardness thing. I'm driving on the correct side of the road, or the, what do you guys, left side of the road, I suppose, in your video. But I'm actually sitting here driving on the right side of the car, the left side of the road. I wonder where those sort of rules were established. How did they decide? How did you start figuring out if you're on the... I'm going to go a different way today. I'm going to go a different way. Hey there, it's Brian from Tokyo Record Style. I'm just on my ride home to my house, going back to do a few house chores before heading to work after having just dropped my kids off at school. And this is a time when I've been able to come online on a nearly daily basis since the new year started. And I've got to be up to 50 streams already in this year. And it's just a sort of, it's a vlog. It's a journal. It's a mental dump. It's a sort of unplanned, unscripted stream of consciousness, no itinerary. I can imagine it might not appeal to many, but it's just a practice, a sort of a study of myself, a letter to my future self, and an experiment, very much so. And it's some of the only time that I have in my day where I can do something like this. So yeah, it's just, I'm not going to stop doing it because it's the time that I have to do it, and it's becoming a little bit of a, I want to call it more of a practice than it is a therapy, but it's proving to be of some kind of merit and value to me. So I'm going to keep going forward, and it's fun because I'm streaming to my homies, my Tokyo Record Style homies. Who are the Tokyo Record Style homies? Well, they come from a handful of places, but they're people who have gone on my taxi service, my Tokyo Record Style shuttle service. There are people who are supporting my channel by being either Patreon or YouTube members, or they've sent me some VLT, or they're supporting the channel in some other way. My friend who hosts my website is hanging out on here, and okay, turning on to Omotesando. Turn the camera on just a little bit. So this is Tokyo, sort of Champs-Élysées. I'm just driving home real quick and cutting right through the center of sort of western Tokyo. The Apple store is over here on the right. The Todd store and the Boss store, Mikimoto, are over here on the left. And Rolex and Louis Vuitton and Max Mara and Chanel and all the usual sort of you know, haute couture, Hermes and all that stuff. It's all here on this boulevard called Omotesando, and it leads up to Meiji Jingu. Anyway, so the fun aspect about the streaming that I'm doing right now is that I'm streaming to those homies, my pals, my buddies, my friends, the people who are, I don't know, they're just encouraging folks who have just kind of been cheering me on since, maybe some more recently, but some of them kind of go way back. And I figure once a week or once every couple weeks I'll do a public live stream, and today is that day. And yeah, but I'm coming on with no plan, but working towards having a plan. Hopefully, this is what I'm finding out from doing a sort of daily live stream, is that it's tricky. It's not easy. And you know, you can relate to anybody who's like going out there on a, you know, a talk show or something, who's, you know, gotta have filled dead air for however many minutes a day. It's an interesting, fun challenge, and you strike out a lot. But you know, I respect those, and I'm inspired by those who are willing to get up to the plate, swing for the fences, and strike out, you know, from time to time for a chance at going big. So I'm still going for it. One of the things that I need to, or that I'm working towards, is a sort of with a daily plan. You kind of are. It's a little bit hard to, you know, come up with something to talk about every day. I've got my CDs here. You know, I could talk about the Strokes, who are coming to Tokyo for Summer Sonic. I just saw announced yesterday, which is a reason I might want to go. We usually go every year with my family, but I could talk about Zappa. You can't do that on stage anymore. Probably the best version of My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama. Ween, White Pepper, which I just ordered on vinyl. They just re-released it on vinyl. And Quebec, they just released White Pepper and Quebec. These two CDs are they released the whole entire Ween discography, I think, on CD, and also only these two albums on wax recently. So very excited to add White Pepper because I don't have that one on wax. And I just spoke to Grasshopper this morning. Grasshopper, if you guys aren't paying attention to Grasshopper, he's a cool cat. You guys need to get hip to Grass. I imagine most of you are following him, but if you're not following Grasshopper TV on YouTube, you should go follow him. I just had a little 5-10 minute chat with him online, and he has helped me sort of round out my Ween discography. I collected most of them growing up, but I don't know where some of them went, but there was a few holes in my collection, and he was like, oh, I have all the records, I don't really listen to the CDs, I'll send you the CDs. And he sent me a stack of CDs, and he couldn't find the debut record. I mean, that's the one I'm sort of missing and wishing I had the most. And he was like, I know I have it somewhere in my collection, but I can't find it, so I'm going to send you everything else. And then weeks later, he messaged me and said, hey, I found God, Weed, and Satan, the Ween's first record, which is so fun and funny and great record. Really, I mean, in a way, like one of their best. And anyway, he's sending it along with a friend of his who's coming to Japan. He sent these little goodie packages with some friends who are coming here. And Grass is an interesting cat. He's like he's a producer, he's a musician, he's a record store owner, a past record store owner, he's a father. He's just an interesting fellow, and he's very well, his reputation precedes itself in not a notorious reputation. He's got a very good reputation, and he's worked with I think like punk legends and pop legends and hip hop legends, and he's known. He's out there. He's a very well known dude. Hey, James Farley, nice to see you, dude. So I want to talk about two things just on my ride home. One of which is the shuttle service that I've been doing, the Tokyo Record Shuttle service. And I want to just put it out there. I haven't really made a video about it. I think I'm going to have to eventually make a video about it. I made a little sort of documentary about it when I documented the launch of the product, if you will, the service, when Matt Kesler from Too Many Records in Portland, Oregon came over to Japan, and I saw that he was coming, and I knew that he would be buying for his shop, and I imagined that he would probably be going to the usual places, the Shinjukus and Shibuyas and so on. And having lived here in Japan for a long time and knowing that there's gold up in them hills, that he might have better luck out in the what I call the Goldilocks zone, and just, I don't know, getting off the beaten path a little bit more to some more of the indie shops, some book off, some sort of recycle shops, and some places that are hard to get to if you don't really know about them. And yeah, Tokyo Shuttle style, exactly, James Farley. So since launching that with Matt as my sort of guinea pig, I've probably hosted 12 clients in in 6 months time. And so yeah, once every couple of weeks I've got somebody coming over here and who's taken me up on the offer, and it's been really successful, actually. And I maybe recommend you do it in your neck of the woods. It's really well. And I don't know if I'm unique in that I have the particular background and skills and car and that kind of stuff. I have the stuff to make it happen, and I have the friendships and relationships with a lot of the record store owners. So I suppose maybe there not so many people are positioned to do what I'm doing, but certainly if you're, I think a lot of us who are, going to record stores every, day, every other day, every couple times a week, once every couple times a month, we know, where the places are. We keep, relationships with the shopkeepers, and it's an interesting service to offer somebody, but it's a lot of work, and it's not just a go and goof off kind of thing. It's actually like providing somebody a really, really special, memorable, kind of one of a kind service. And I was a little bit nervous about being able to deliver on the promise that I'm offering, but I've been very happy, and I'm glad to report that I think everybody who's participated has come away from it with a really positive impression. In fact, I would go so far as to say that I've exceeded kind of everybody's expectations, and or I should say they've had their expectations exceeded. And that I got from one client, and he was I was in the car with him, and we probably had been going for 10 hours almost, and he was in the car, and we were hitting like a few more shops on the way, on the, like, just as we were wrapping this thing up. And he was sitting here quietly in the passenger seat, and he did one of these. And I said, what are you stoked? What's up? And he was like, I'm so stoked. This was such a good investment. This was such a good idea. And I know that from when he first touched and first found the project, he wasn't quite sure, what he was getting into. You can imagine if, to hire somebody who you don't know, and, basically doesn't have like a Google, ratings reviews, or I don't have a whole lot of word of mouth out there. He just kind of found me on a channel, or found me, out there in Etherland, and he just took a risk on me, and I found that a lot of these guys who are coming on the tour, they're telling me that they're messaging their like-minded pals, and they're saying to them, you're never going to believe I found this guy in Tokyo who's got a car and who's driving me all around Tokyo, and I've got like a driver, a chauffeur, a concierge to take me around all day. I don't have to carry my records. I'm not battling the heat. I'm in the coziness of a car. I'm not cracking the code of the train system. It's so nice, and I'm able to cover, essentially, I want to say twice the amount of ground in half the amount of time, but it's really more like 10 times the amount of ground in 1/10 the amount of time. It's a lot of ground to be covered. And I just wanted to get on here and say that yeah, spread it around. If you're listening, if you're out there, or if you're watching this, I'll make a dedicated video about it, not just a live stream, just kind of rambling about it, but I'll make a video about it eventually. And I've got testimonials from everybody who's come on it, and everybody who's nearly everybody who's come on it has kind of taken the deluxe edition, but a couple of people who've done it have just come on for like a few hours at a time. And I kind of want to make a service available for everybody, but at the same time, I think I'm coming up on a year, and I'm finding out for myself that it's actually quite a lot of work. And by the time you calculate all the hours of planning, if I don't charge the fee that I know that I need to charge, it's not really worth it for me or them. I think I can't really give them the service that they are expecting and should have, and it'll be really of value without really asking for a certain fee. And for this first year, I've told myself, oh, I'm going to experiment, and I'm willing to create a service that appeals to everybody. And I'm willing to work with you on the price, and I want you to walk away from the experience with like a totally positive impression, so that it gets out there, and that people will refer their friends and family and people to me. So I've been really willing to bend, and maybe that will continue, but I've kind of told myself that that's a sort of a first year parameter that I'm willing to sort of bend. And but it's proving to be like, maybe it's not necessary. I mean, maybe I don't really. Anyway, the point is that get in on it while you can, while the getting's good, because at some point I think I'm not going to have to. I think there's going to be enough demand that I probably can just keep busy with a certain kind of clientele. Anyway, and one of the outcomes of one of the sort of perks of the record style service, the shuttle service, I gotta come up with a real Tokyo Record Shuttle, Tokyo Shuttle service, Tokyo Record Shuttle. I even want to get like a taxi thing on the roof of the car and get some signage on the side of the car, but I'm worried that the taxi police will come and chase me down. But I think I can do it. I think I can probably get away with that. Get one of those like magnets and put it on the side of the car, like an undercover cop thing. Put the thing on the roof. Woo! We're in business. Come on, it's Tokyo Record Shuttle. Anyway, one of the things in addition that I think might not immediately appeal to people who've come on the service is they also all get access to the same perks that the Patreon and YouTube members get, which is exclusive content, which again, like, maybe is of no value to you, but for those who keep coming back again and again, I think we're proving that it's we got a nice little thing going. And I also have a very active and fun Discord that's going off, and that is like genuinely very cool and insightful musical exchange. Very passionate and very insightful. I'm leveling up my music credentials every day by hearing what the community members of the Discord are contributing to conversations. So that's really, really cool. And I'm real hesitant to suggest, this, but I have to recheck my own perks and my own like membership offerings. But I think I have 4. And I admit, now that I'm attending to them all in a way, I'm probably not exactly doing the best service that I can for each of them, but I'm working towards that. And essentially, if you're in on the service, it doesn't matter which tier you're at. You get the same kickbacks. But I'm gonna try to keep working on being better at that. But essentially, I think there's like a $3 a month membership tier, I think, or a $4 a month membership tier. Maybe it's $5, but I think there's like a, let's call it 3, 4, 5 tier. Then there's like an 8, 9, 10, or 11 tier, and then there's like a $16 tier, and then there's like a $30 tier. That's all there is. And the $30 tier is, nobody's doing that one, but it would be for somebody who wants to have like a one-on-one. I don't know what a one-on-one would be like, but I like the idea of consulting with people, and I do that in my professional work. And so I don't exactly know what shape that would take if I actually had somebody to work with in that capacity, but it would be something that I would create specifically for them. And it would just be like a session where we'd actually I'd put time and effort into curating an experience and something of service, something of value for the person, whatever they might need, whether that be brainstorming with them on their business or on their record collection or their interest in Japan itself or Tokyo as a city or the Japanese language, even though I don't have a ton of confidence that I could teach you, but I know enough Japanese to like explain to you what the basics are. I see some homies hanging out here. Gary Harris is in, oh shit, there's a bunch. Oh shit, dude. Oh God, I'm missing, okay. Dude, Breakfast King of Lil is here. Gary Harris in the house, good morning. Hey everybody. James Farley, okay, let me pull over a second and I'll read these. Sorry about that. Yeah, so these are some of the characters who are in the Discord. Breakfast King of Leola, Gary Harris, Zedzuko, I saw his name pop up. My friend Anihita just joined the Discord, and I was so happy to see that like when she joined the Discord, she's an artist friend of mine who lives in San Francisco, and she's a DJ and dance friend. As soon as she got on the server, like all the other members were like, hey, welcome to the server, hey, they were all waving and saying hello to her, and I thought it was just so nice that she got such a warm welcome. And I wondered, if there's such good-heartedness out there in other places, and I would kind of be overwhelmed maybe if I came into a circle of music-loving people and they were all like, hey, welcome, we're happy to have you here. It would be both awesome and not intimidating per se, but just overwhelming. But that's what I'm trying to cultivate, and it's working, and I'm very, very stoked about it. And I want to invite, kind of for the first time, I want to say, like, come hang out, throw $5 a month at the thing. Let me try to keep building it and creating the space and creating the live streams and creating we've got an ongoing thing that I'm trying to curate so that there's like work. It's staying up later, and it's like, I'm not doing it for, I'm doing it for the love of it, but I'm also doing it for, I want to provide you with something. I want to be of service. I want to be used up. So, where should I pull over? The street's really busy today. Where should I go? I was gonna go there, but it's too busy on that side of the street. So, yes, it's a little embarrassing that my studio has to be in this car, and that I can't pay attention to the comments, and it's not like in front of my computer kind of live stream where I can bring up comments, and you can't, when you're streaming from your phone, there's very little interface things that you can do, like bring up comments or highlight comments or anything like this. So it's a little lo-fi, but yeah, anyway, I want to encourage you to come and participate in it. And if you get in on the thing, I don't exactly 100% know how you do it, but you go to the YouTube members thing, you click join, you pay the $3 or whatever, pay it once and see how it goes, and then get out. You're not obliged to stay. $3 or whatever, and then come hang out on this Discord and see what's going on over there, and see the conversations that are going on over there. And I'm all of us who are hanging out there, I think, understand that we've got something cool going on, and we don't really want to spoil it with a whole bunch of people who, I mean, not that I imagine there to be a lot of people, but we want to protect it because it's a good vibe right now, a really good vibe. And I'm aware that the more untenable it is, the less cool it's going to be. But I think there's room for there to be more awesomeness. And I want to invite you to come and be a part of it. So those are the two things I kind of wanted to talk about today. My shuttle service, you want to go there, I know you do. Oh, you're going to go there? That's okay. And my Discord. So thanks for letting me share that. And it's TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. And not a whole lot else to say. I've got videos that I'm going to make this weekend. One of them is the Americana tag, Sam's Americana tag I'm going to make. And another one is, what's the other one? I got another one I got to make. I got a few in the pipeline. So, yeah, there's that. Anything else? I haven't done a Vox Pop in a while. And one more thing it's all an experiment. I don't exactly know what I'm doing, and I don't claim to I don't claim to know what I'm doing, but I'm just using the things that are available to me, and I'm trying it out. And what was I going to say? I had something I was going to say. I've spaced it. Yeah, the Magical Mystery Tour. That's not a bad name, James Farley. The Magical Mystery Tour. Hey, I like that actually. Yeah, get on the bus. The party's on the bus. Yeah, it's a little embarrassing that you have to do it from the car, but I don't have a studio to work from. I don't have a man cave. I have a man corner of my living room that I share with my family, but this is the space I have, and I'm making do with what I have, and so there's that. With a microphone in hand and a PA as in a personal assistant, that would be nice. I would love that. Zed Zuko, nice to see you, dude. Gary Harris. Not much. How are you guys? You guys are bantering. My workday is over. Otsukare sama desu. Otsukare sama desu means job well done. You're over. Well done. Oh, Jim O'Connell, my homie's here. Jim O'Connell photo. Interesting. Okay, Jim's a very, very good old friend of mine. Jim is the guy who sent me the Ween record. He sent me the Mollusk. If you have been following my channel long enough, you might remember a video where a very, very highly coveted record slipped right from my fingertips. Somebody got it right before I did. And a bunch of you wrote to me and were like, oh, that was so criminal that the guy got it. I felt so bad for you. But good on you. And then Jim, bless his heart, sent me a copy. And my Tokyo Record Style is a web page before it's a photography blog before it's a YouTube channel. And it's a website. It's tokyorecordstyle.com, tokyorecordstyle.com. It's also tokyo.record.style. And Tokyo, is a subdomain of record.style. Record.style is my domain, is my homepage, record.style, and tokyo.record.style is a subdomain of record style. And if you were so inclined to want to try to make one of these record style projects in your neck of the woods, if you wanted to go out there on the streets with your camera and document the record loving people in your community the same way that I am, and you wanted a place to put photos, and you wanted to create Amsterdam record style or uh, Copenhagen record style or New York record style, I'd be happy to make you a web page and give you the tools that you would need to essentially get something going in your neck of the woods, if that would interest you. And that website is hosted on my tech guru, very sweet, dear godfather of my daughter, Jim O'Connell's website. He's been on the internet before all of us. This guy is old school. He goes way back. Mark Morris, I would definitely destroy the vibe of your Discord. I don't think so, Mark Morris. I don't think you would at all. Mark Morris, I just wrote you a letter this morning. Mark Morris is here now. Mark Morris launched the Beatles tag this year, which was really great, and I really enjoyed doing it. And he did a fantastic job, and he sent me a message saying, hey, I'd like to get one of your Tokyo Record Style stickers. I don't think I have any on me at the moment. But I said, of course, I'm glad. Thank you for asking. And so I put one in the mail. I haven't put it in the mail yet, but I wrote you the message and I got it on this. It's ready to be sent. Just need to put it in the post box. So, but yeah. Woohoo! Looking forward to your letter and stickers. Yes, man. Yes, man. I'm very happy to be sent it. And I'm very encouraged, actually, when somebody sends you a request for a sticker, you're very, it's validating, and you're like, wow, people care. It would seem like, it would be a burden, right, to send you something. It would cost me something, but it's a gift to be able to give. I learned through my volunteer project that we had this. I have a volunteer project that I started in response to the big earthquake that was here forever ago, 2011. And I went up to these villages where their cities were just wiped off the face of the map by this tsunami and earthquake. And we basically started our project there about 6 months to the day, actually, after the earthquake started. And in the first few months that we were there, we found out, or we met all these, like, the people who live in the Pacific Northeast of Japan. That's the region that's called Tohoku. The people that live there, they're sort of known as being sort of demure and quiet and shy and not very. They're the sort of the least outgoing of the Japanese people, it is said. But I found this not to be true at all. And maybe it's true initially when you meet people from the Pacific Northeast. They are a sort of shy people, a conservative kind of people. But once you break through once you break the ice with these people, they are the most vibrant and lively people you will meet in the country. And we got invited into so many homes and into so many inner circles of people. And these people who lost everything, they lost every personal possession that they ever owned. They had to rely on the goodwill of their neighbors and their, those whose homes and lives weren't wrecked, and the government and volunteers to like get their shit, slightly back together. And once they got it a little bit back together, they started well, I shouldn't say they started. They probably restarted, or they what am I trying to say? Every time we got invited into one of these people's homes, we got showered with gifts and food and just a welcome committee beyond anything you can imagine from people who had nothing to give us, okay? People who lost everything. These people were the most generous people I've ever encountered in my life. They just drowned us in generosity and goodwill. And when you are coming from a place of abundance to a place where there isn't very much, and when somebody starts giving you things, you say, no, I don't need anything. I have abundant amount of stuff to have back where I live. You are the ones that don't have much. And when we refused those gifts in the first initial trips that we made up there, we realized we would see these really disappointed faces. People would be like, oh, I've got these 2 bottles of sake, let's drink them together. Or I made a whole bunch of gyozas or of cakes or mochi somethings or other, and I brought them all for you. And we said, no, save them for your family or give them to your community. We're bringing everything we have with us and taking everything. We don't want to pull on any resources from this community. We were met with these sort of scowls like, oh, but I made this for you. And like, I want to give. And the thing that we quickly realized is that the ability to give somebody something is a great privilege. It's a great freedom. It's a great right, human right, maybe even, to be able to share, right? And by refusing, their generosity, we were sort of robbing them of a chance for them to have this dignity of sharing. So we made a rule for ourselves: don't refuse anything. It was sort of like that movie, wasn't there like a Jim Carrey movie like Yes Man or something, where he had to say like yes to everything? And we basically made that rule for ourselves, and we said yes to every offer that we got, and every time we got invited into somebody's home, our rule that we made for ourselves was yes. And we had so much fun, and we made so many more meaningful connections by adopting that policy. And we learned that, which is why I bring this all up, we learned that to give is to receive. When you give, you receive, right? That's the way it works. And that's why when Mark Morris, sorry Mark to just go off here, off on this, but when Mark asks for a sticker, he's giving me a chance to share, which is a great gift. So even though I'm the one who has to make the sticker and put it in the mail and have this seemingly troublesome task to get him this thing, I actually get the privilege to do something nice for somebody, and it's a great gift. So thank you, Mark, for asking for requesting a sticker. And if anybody else out there who's watching this video knows about my sticker campaign and my letter writing campaign, if you send me a DM, send me a direct message at tokyorecordstyle.com. There's a contact page on there, or you can send me at gmail.com, tokyorecordstyle, or you can DM me on Instagram. And you're welcome, Brian, says Mark Morris. Nice, dude. Okay. And I see Grasshopper in the house. Grass, I was talking to you about you a moment ago. I love the Beatles shout-out video. Yes, Mark Morris made a lovely Beatles shout-out video, and he mentioned all the people who participated. And God damn it, Grasshopper threw us all under. He made us all look bad by making like the greatest video ever. It was so fun. He poured pink goo all over himself as he made his sort of avant-garde Beatles video. It was amazing, super fun. And then Mark Morris had a couple dozen people do the Beatles thing, and he made a shout-out video to all the people who participated. And Grasshopper, I love you, hee, sending positivity. I'm making a participation appreciation part 2 soon. Okay, cool. Okay, let's see. Never seen that done before. Super cool, Mark. Yeah. I'm an iconoclast. You're owning it, Mark. Okay. Never saw a tag done that way. You do them. Yeah, either, Grasshopper. True. It was a wild one. The earthquake seemed so scary. It was pretty scary, man. Is the generosity speech designed to get that $3 out of me? Don't feel obliged. Don't feel obliged. I've tried to say to people, again, like I just learned so many lessons from this project. I am asking you for the $3, but is $3 really going to make that big of a difference in my life? I want to say yes, but it's that scene from Grand Budapest Hotel. The Society of the Crossed Keys, you know, where they escape from prison. Is that the one? Right? With Zero and Bill Murray, they escape. The concierge. No, who is it? It's Ralph. Ralph. How do we say Rafe Fiennes. They escape. What's his name? What's his name in the movie? Monsieur Gustave. Gustave and Zero, they get thrown in the can, right? For, I forget why exactly. They're on the train and the Nazis are coming, right? The imaginary Nazis, right? And they take him and they put him in the jail. Then they get sprung with the help of Harvey Keitel. And then they get to a phone and they call the order of the crossed keys. And it's all the concierges across the globe. And they all make their phone calls and they get a rendezvous to come pick them up at the pickup place, you know, at the meetup place. And Zero doesn't have any Klubex, right? That's the currency that they have. And he when his one request is that he brings the punch something, the perfume, right? And they both get a couple of sprays of it, right? And then he says, I only have like 5 Klubex. And the Bill Murray character says, oh. And he has to offer it as a ceremonial offer. Purely as a ceremonial offer. So yes, consider it a ceremonial offer, and you'll derive more value out of it, I think, if you put something into it. Having said that, I've learned through the project that if you don't have, if you haven't got a penny, a half penny will do. If you haven't got a half penny, then God bless you. What do you have? Do you have what do you want to trade? Let's trade. You have some VCLT. I've grandfathered in some people. Grass got grandfathered in. He sent some VCLT. God bless him. He sent about $1,000 worth of CDs. If you can understand how much Ween CDs are going for these days. That's what I bring up, that because people who have wanted to participate in my volunteer project have said, like, oh, I want to join, but I'm not a photographer, because it's a photography based project. And I say, okay, well, what do you do? What can you bring to the table? Bring anything, but put something in, and come, like, level up. Let's all level up. That's all I'm trying to do, is just like level up a little bit. So okay, I'm going to sign off. Got to get to work. Thanks for hanging out. So this is the sort of spirit of the daily live stream. I'm doing this on a 5 to 6 days a week basis around this time, every day. I have the opportunity. I have my little car studio. You can call it the, Tokyo Uber live stream. I don't care what you want to call it, but it's my little window of time, and I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone, driving home and live streaming at the same time. And it's fun, and I dig it. And it is embarrassing that it's not more cool, and I'm not at a battle station, and I'm driving around, and that whatever, but it's working for me for what I'm doing. So you can't fault me for trying. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out. Lot Wook, I see you. I see you guys. Cheers at TGIF from the future. From the future. All right, see you on the next one. Bye.